Cramps are normal, right? But for some people, the pain is unbearable. In today's episode of the Purity Afya Show, we unpack painful period, what is normal and what is not normal. I am your host, Purity 𝗵𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀, and to help us with that conversation is the lovely Dr. Maureen Owiti, a seasoned gynecologist. Thank you once again for joining us.
Thank you so much, Purity.
Yes. So how can someone tell that their pain or period pain specifically is not normal?
For me, I look at women because I see different women, and I always say that those lucky women who don't experience any cramps during their period.
They're so lucky.
And not good to always discuss yourself, but I think I belong to both spectrum.
Yeah, sometimes.
Whereby I'm that classical person who doctors used to describe. So I think before I had my children, I had killer cramps, and it was really bad.
Yeah.
But I say I always love my firstborn because since I delivered him, the cramps completely disappeared, and it was a completely different world. It's so different. Having cramps and not having cramps. Unfortunately, for some people, that's not their story, depending on the reason for the pain. So if it's something, just some mild discomfort, probably I would say that's normal. But if it's something and you feel you need to take some medication, definitely that's not normal. Doctors, we like sounding intelligent, so we have a very wonderful word for painful cramps. We call it dysmenorrhea. And there are very many causes for dysmenorrhea. And I think right now on everybody's lips is the E word, and the E word is endometriosis.
Yes.
Okay. So with endometriosis, these young women and ladies have killer cramps. Now, how do you know these cramps really there's something very not right about it? So obviously you're going to have pain. They more often than not will need to take medication to be able to control the pain. And the telltale sign is that they are unable to complete their normal tasks when they're on their period. So I think if we all reflect back when we're in school, because I think that was when we were a group of many girls together. There was always that girl, if you were in boarding school.
It was me.
Periods, then the sanatorium with the school nurse.
It was me.
They can't go, they can't function completely. I personally was in a day school. So there were those 2-3 girls who at some point in the month, they'll not always every month, they'll not be in school. 2-3 days they can't come to school. You just can't function. The amount of pain is debilitating. As in, you're in bed, you're taking painkillers, you have 2-3, and they're doing absolutely nothing to help control your pain. So the moment you have cramps, you need medication, and even if the medication not able to function, definitely this is somebody we're going to entertain a diagnosis of endometriosis. So endometriosis is one of the causes of dysmenorrhea. Then we have people who have what we call primary dysmenorrhea. So I think in my case, it was more of the primary dysmenorrhea. So you can't find, you can't see, do they have a fibroid, do they have a cyst, do they have the endometriosis? You can't really find a cause for why they have the pain. But people with primary dysmenorrhea, as I said, giving birth somehow, I don't know that it enlarges the uterus, makes it more relaxed, I don't know, but after that, whoops, cramps disappear. So I hope yours disappeared.
No, they did.
They did.
They did. It's a different world now.
It's a different world. So you probably
it.
have primary dysmenorrhea as well. But I feel really challenged for those women who have endometriosis, because unfortunately, even giving birth does not relieve them of the period cramps. So but fortunately we live in a very modern world, and we have lots of new drugs and therapies that they can use, mostly progesterone therapies. I told you as guys, it's like we only have one progesterone. And in very severe cases, we may even have to do surgery to help alleviate the pain. And the challenge with something like endometriosis, it can affect any organ. I think we all know about 𝗬𝗵𝗶𝗴𝘀. And she had a very atypical form whereby she was bleeding into the outer lining of her lungs and really getting very severe symptoms. So I can't imagine going through something like that. So just sympathize with any woman who has to go through that. So for me, I think it's more of awareness, and especially like to young girls, schoolgirls, because people can be mean. You'll find they're teasing, and it's not your fault. Like I remember my own personal experience was people think you're pretending. They're like, the rest of us also have periods. Why are you pretending? And you're not pretending. You're actually in pain. Really severe pain. So for me, the message would just be that for other people, just be maybe more understanding, and people are not necessarily pretending, and they can be really in severe pain and just need that support. How do we manage the pain? So like everything, I think all medical things, we now start with things like lifestyle. So in lifestyle is obviously first, avoid things that tend to dehydrate your body. And that is regardless whether it's the primary dysmenorrhea, endometriosis, any form of menstrual cramps. So things that tend to dehydrate would be salt, coffee, sugar, all those things, alcohol. So what I'll say is maybe you don't have to avoid altogether, because you can imagine taking chipo without salt. But really just be very conscious of the amounts that you're taking. If you must take, just try to take the bare minimum that will allow you to enjoy your meal or your cup of coffee, one cup of coffee a day. I don't think you need to have more than that just to pick me up in the morning. Sorry to the addicts, sorry to the coffee addicts out there. But if you're having menstrual cramps and you love coffee, taking a lot of coffee, just try it, reduce the amount of coffee, and you'll be really surprised at the benefits you'll get. Also, you said anything that dehydrates, so it means something that hydrates you works. So drink a lot of fluid, and cheapest, healthiest fluid is always water. Okay. Exercise. I don't know if you ever noticed that the months you were exercising, the cramps were not so bad. If you can remember that. So exercise does help a lot. So I find that any of my women who come and ask their complaint, I'll say, look, we know there's this, but can we try doing the lifestyle? Not improving the lifestyle. As I've said, I have my bag of magic tricks. And we have a lot of drugs that we can give you. Painkillers are so many different groups, different classes. And we can give alone, we can give in combination to give the desired effect that we want. Definitely we're going to investigate, just rule out, do you have fibroids? Do you have a cyst? We find a cause, we'll treat the cause. We don't find a cause, likelihood is either the primary or possibility endometriosis, because it's also sometimes challenging to actually diagnose endometriosis with the usual types of investigations. Gold standard to diagnose endometriosis would be surgery. But I think with the newer ultrasounds and with more and more people accepting to do transvaginal and transrectal ultrasounds, we are now actually able, based on the signs that we get, to even just diagnose endometriosis on ultrasound. We have a diagnosis, it's to treat, and I think for all of them, painkillers, progestins, we have different modalities all the way up to surgery, and we're actually able to help women take care take care of their cramps.
Yeah. So how early can these conditions begin? I'm talking about endometriosis, fibroids. Because there are also girls when like their first menses, they are experiencing this painful period and heavy period. Really, is it also a sign that they could be having these conditions and it's their first cycle?
It's true. Yeah, because like so endometriosis, it's sad that to date things like fibroids and endometriosis, what exactly causes them, to date we do not know. Okay, but we do know the entities we're able to diagnose, and we're able to institute treatment to sufferers of the various issues. So something like endometriosis, it can be right even from your first period. You're already having pain. Yes.
So now with that in mind, as we wind up, you can leave us with a few tips on what are some of the signs that women should look out for. I know regular checkup is important, but even before that or with that, because you could be doing your annual checkup, but somewhere in the middle of the year, you experience some signs. So what are these signs that we should be looking out for? And when we see, we are like, okay, this is not normal, let me rush for check.
So like we've started that if you find you need to take, for me, I just say my principle is very simple. You take Panadol, that's paracetamol, and you're able to control the symptoms. Maybe you can manage. And again, always try to institute the lifestyle changes. Oh, I forgot diet. So you find a lot of people with painful periods, gluten, you have your gluten, you have lactose. You understand? So even just try withdraw milk for some time. See, is your period better? Withdraw wheat from your diet for some time. See, is your pain better?
Actually, for me, it was milk. When that month that I did do any milk, or if I do milk today and my periods begin tomorrow, it will be chaos. It will be so painful.
So it's just, again, just try first the lifestyle changes, and you have some relief. If you find with that lifestyle changes and maybe a simple analgesic, you're not able to control the pain, you need stronger things, probably, definitely, you should see a doctor and get it checked out.
All right. As usual, we are winding up. So those tips, you just leave us with a few tips.
No, for me, for today, for controlling periods, I'll always be lifestyle changes. So avoid salt. I mean, reduce the amount of salt, sugar, coffee, exercise, hydrate well, and then just try with withdrawing to check whether it's a lactose or a gluten.
Right. Thank you so much, Dr. for your time.
Thank you so much, 𝗪𝗺. Always a pleasure being
And
here.
also, thank you for watching this conversation. If it has helped you or someone in any way, remember to share, like, as well as comment and subscribe, and tell someone that this is where we talk about women and we reclaim the health of women around the world. My name is 𝗪𝗺. I'll see you again next week, same place and same time. Bye-bye for now.